Hey y'all, welcome to the Digital Education Hub YouTube channel. In this video, we will just go over FlipGrid. We've already made one video on FlipGrid, and it kind of goes over the basics that first video does on how to use it. In this video, we go more over practices of FlipGrid and how to use it within your own classroom space, and how those practices that we recommend will fall under our Digital Education Hub Throughlines. So I'm going to give some practice examples for how to use FlipGrid in your space, and all those examples will hit on one of our Throughlines. So either empowering families and communities, deep and transformational learning, or equitable practices and systems. But first, and this is going to kind of be like a PowerPoint presentation, I am just going to go over what is FlipGrid again. And for all of you who don't know what FlipGrid is, it is just a video sharing platform where students can share a video of themselves explaining any sort of topic. A lot of students, and how I usually used it, was when students could verbally explain what they did or what work they did on an assignment. I want to stress first that FlipGrid can be used in any subject. For example, I was a math teacher. I don't want you all to think once I say oral presentation that FlipGrid can just be used in English and history. FlipGrid can definitely be used in science and math classrooms, and I definitely think it should, as our students continually need to gain opportunities to talk about science and math. Cool, and those are the three through lines that we're going to hit on in this video. The first one that I'm going to talk about is equitable practices and systems. So one idea or way we should think about FlipGrid is as another tool that students can use to turn in an assignment. So as we all know, there'll always be some students who struggle writing everything out in what they are thinking. Or what I always think about in a math classroom is those students who are able to get the answer but struggle with showing the work and each individual step that they took to get to the answer. Well, these students might struggle or not like writing out all of their work, but what they might enjoy is verbally explaining what all work they did. And so if you give them this alternate platform, they might use it, and this could be productive for them and for you. Okay, so let's next hit on deep and transformational learning, our next through line. And so what I think about what makes FlipGrid take learning to a deep and transformational level is that students aren't simply just turning in an assignment through a worksheet or a document. Students are explaining what they did on that worksheet or document. And I've had students do this on a FlipGrid video many times. I'll have an assignment that's either on a Google Slides or just on a worksheet, and students will do that full assignment on the Google Slide and worksheet and turn in that worksheet or maybe even that Google Slide to me. But along with doing that, they also turn in that FlipGrid video in which they put that assignment in front of the camera, and then their face is on the side of the assignment, and they're physically pointing out to me what all they did on each step and what thought process they hit on when doing that step. And so that's really where I think the learning takes a whole new level for students, is they are physically explaining what work they did on an assignment. And I think the fact that these FlipGrid videos are or can be made public to everybody in the class can add another pressure to students to make their video high quality. I think it's just similar to like a classroom presentation. Once you add that audience, that adds another pressure to students to do or produce high quality work. Lastly, our last through line will be empowering families and communities. So, I found that there were some students, of course, in my class who didn't feel open with talking or sharing about themselves within that classroom space in school. But when I gave them a chance to share about themselves on FlipGrid through a FlipGrid video, these students were willing to open up a little bit. So I thought that was really an amazing thing about FlipGrid, was students who were struggling to open up in my classroom were now opening up on the platform. And I think this was happening because students could control how they were being seen through the video, and they didn't have that level of control within my classroom. So the fact that through FlipGrid you can control so many of the factors of how you're being seen is really important for students. And I think what makes it so important is the fact that they have background knowledge on doing that. So if your students have background knowledge on using social media, I think they'll find FlipGrid to really fit with those skills. Because FlipGrid, making that video is very similar to making a video on a social media platform. So if students already have that background knowledge, they have more power in creating that video and they feel more comfortable doing it. So that's here my video on what practices to think about when using FlipGrid in your classroom. I hope this video was helpful for you all. Thank you for listening.